Thank you, and welcome to our next edition of Living Legal Legends, the Hawaii State Bar Association's three-digit project. Today we are honored and pleased to have with us three gentlemen that are three-digit attorneys. We have at the end of the table here Eichi Oki, who is bar number 370.
370, yes.
Thank you, Eichi. We have Harry Tanaka, who is bar number 456. And we have Genro Kashiwa, who is bar number 264. Does that sound right?
I think so. Alphabetically, it sounds right.
Okay, I think that's right. We had to look it up. We also have, these gentlemen also have another very significant three-digit number to their names, and that's the number 442. And I want to ask them to kick this show off. And this is a show about lawyers and their legal careers, but I want our young lawyers to understand a little bit about their background. So I'm going to ask all three of these gentlemen, and I'm going to take it kind of in order of VE versus VJ day. But I'd like to know, I'm going to start with you, Eichi, on May 8th, 1945.
Yeah.
So a couple of months from now, 70 years ago. Do you remember what you were doing? That was VE Day.
I don't think I do very honestly without trying to hem and haw on that. All I can say is that I was in Italy, and we were awaiting the end of war. I don't think at that time the atom bomb had been laid on Hiroshima and Nagasaki yet, but we were glad that the European war had ended in May of 45.
Yes.
So now it was a kind of a wait and see period as far as I was concerned. And fortunately, well, I don't know if that's a good word, but the atom bomb was laid in Japan, and I guess finally Japan surrendered.
Yes. So on May 8th, though,
Yeah.
in 45, were you working with German prisoners? Were you processing them? What would you have been doing?
Playing cards, I think primarily. We were just waiting to stand by, not knowing, what's going to happen to us.
Okay.
At least that was my thought. Gee, are we going to be shipped over now to help the people in the East, against Japan and all that? So at least that thought occurred to me.
Sure, I
And,
understand.
But shortly thereafter, in a couple of 2-3 months, the atom bomb, I guess, kind of changed the world.
Yes. Okay, good. Well, let me ask you, Genro, let me ask you what you were doing on May 8th, 1945, VE Day.
Oh, it was after the Battle of Mount Fogarino, which was on April 5th. And after that, we were chasing the retreating Germans when the VE Day happened. And after that, we gathered up the German soldiers and took them to a prisoner of war camp in northern Italy near Lake Como. And we processed all of them. We took the weapons and have them enter the POW camp.
Okay.
And after that, we were guards around the POW camp.
When you processed them, what was it you were doing? Were you taking names, taking papers?
No, we just took their weapons.
Okay. All right. And made sure they went to the right place, and
Yeah,
then you end up guarding.
yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. Was it a happy day that day? Were you pleased about the surrender? How did you feel?
We were happy, but we were so busy pursuing the Germans that it didn't strike us very much about the VE.
Okay, all right. But you got to stop, I guess, at least chasing, right?
Yeah.
Did they come to you?
No. We were following them up north, and after that we processed them and took the weapons away. And we guarded the prisoner of war camp near Lake Como in northern Italy. And we sold them fresh fruits that we bought from the Italian farmers, and we prevented the Italian farmers from selling to the prisoners of war. So we stood right outside the fence, and we got the fruits from the Italian farmers and turned around and sold it to the German prisoners of war.
Okay, see, you were the classic middleman.
Yeah.
And what did they pay you with?
Oh, they had livers.
Oh, okay. Oh, they had liras. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. And okay, let's go to August of 1945 and VJ Day. Can you tell us, Harry, what you remember about VJ Day? Because you were in the Pacific Theater, correct?
Yes, I was in the Pacific Theater, and on VJ Day I was in Manila, the Philippines. And as I recall, just before the war ended, a bunch of us were going to be given a commission as second lieutenants, and to prepare for the war against Japan. At that time, I believe a bunch of us were going to be sent to Okinawa to set up advanced ADIS. ADIS was a section under General MacArthur, it's Allied Translators and Interpreters section.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was that to be commissioned, we all had to take a physical exam. And what happened was that an X-ray that I took showed a spot on my lung. So they sent me to Station Hospital in Manila, and I was there when the war ended.
Okay. And was your unit in the Philippines training for the invasion of the main Japanese islands? Was that the purpose of being in Philippines at the time?
No, I was with a group, as I said, called ADIS, and we were a section under MacArthur's headquarters, and our work was translating captured Japanese documents, interrogating Japanese prisoners, and things like that.
Okay. And was that a good day? Do you remember that as being a happy day? VJ Day?
Yeah, it was a good day because the war had ended, and figured to be going home soon.
Good, good. Now I want to ask you, now that we've finished, the war's ended in Europe and in Japan, what happens next? I assume, Eichi, that you either need to continue with your education or you need to start over. And what did you do and why did you do it?
Well, in my case, it was simple. I volunteered when I was a senior in high school. And, if I'm very forthright, I've been in correspondence with my future wife-to-be, who was also a classmate, a senior at that time I volunteered. And
Your girlfriend at the time?
yeah, right. Well,
And what school was that?
we were at I met her when she was 14 and I was 14, when Baldwin High School was finally developed as a high school.
Baldwin,
And
okay.
between, in the central part of
Sure.
Maui. And I guess there were 7 of us who were of age and all that. So we volunteered to serve our country.
Yes.
And they were, of course, our leaders, the Boy Scout leaders, the ministers, the teachers, the prominent people, encouraging us to prove our patriotism.
Yes.
So I guess, after having attended those sessions, my friend and I, George Furuno, said, well, shall we, try and qualify? So there were seven of us who finally ended up volunteering for the military, and that the unit that we finally ended up was called the 442nd, and actually I guess my year with the 442nd began when we were finally shipped over to Camp Shelby in Mississippi, and we trained there, and then eventually we were shipped to Europe. But the strange part is,
Yes.
by then see, my wife and I were both 14 when we met as freshmen at Baldwin High School. It just came up. We carried our chairs and all that, and so I didn't know her at all, except she was just a Oriental, sort of quiet, modest, a gal from the plantation camp known as that whole area there, Punene.
Yes.
And I came from Wailuku, so we met, and we didn't know anything about each other. But as the years went by, we got to know each other better. And by the time I volunteered in March of 1943, I guess, you could say that she was my girlfriend and I was her boyfriend. So I'm saying that it's because of what we did after I volunteered. And it was my senior year, and we kept on writing to each other, and I guess we didn't stop that writing. She graduated from Baldwin High School and went to university on a scholarship, and
University of Hawaii?
huh?
University of Hawaii?
Yeah, she got a scholarship.
Nice.
Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to go to college, because she came from a family of 7, and the father worked in the mill. He earned initially $1 a day, so and they had to live on that, and so you could just imagine they eat a lot of vegetable and eggs and poultry and all those things, and but anyway, my story is, my girlfriend now, became kind of a soulmate as we corresponded.
Can I just interrupt you really quick?
What's that?
Eichi, we're going to do a commercial right now. We want to pick up with your girlfriend soulmate. Okay, let's just take a 1-minute break. Thank you.
Hi, aloha. My name is Chris Leatham, and I host a show called The Economy in You. The show plays every Wednesday at noon, and on my show, I bring on guests who are interested or working in the technology space. And so I'd like you to come and watch the show and learn with me about all the sort of exciting things that we're doing in Hawaii to build and grow our economy ecosystem. So I'd like to say aloha, and I look forward to seeing you on the show. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Jay Fidel, that's Ray Starling. We co-host a show called Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy, every Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. It's really interesting. You know, Ray has a way of unzipping these guys. He asks them these questions, and all this stuff tumbles out, and we find out stuff we would never know about without Ray's questions. Thank you, Ray.
You're welcome, Jay. I'm very pleased to be your Ed McMahon every Wednesday at 4 o'clock here on the internet. So you can join us and see what's happening in the energy world, and there is a lot going on. So join us every Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, come around, be energized, right here on Think Tech. Aloha.
Thank you, and welcome back to Section 2 of Living Legal Legends here in the Think Tech studio. And we're with three distinguished three-digit members, Harry Tanaka, Eichi Oki, and Genro Kashiwa. And we're going to get back to you in 1 second, Eichi. I just want to ask Genro, because your high school was cut off at Baldwin your senior year. And what was your story? Did you have to go back to school? Were you in college? What happened when you volunteered?
Oh, I was working for USED in Kipapa Valley. And my job was to make shacks which were used as toilets for the miners. So I was an expert in constructing toilets.
Would those have been outhouses?
Huh?
Would those have been outhouses or just
Yeah, outhouses.
Okay, all right. Okay, but when you came back from the service, did you go back to college?
Yes, but at that point, I was told that I have 5 years of education coming to me. So instead of going to University of Hawaii, I went directly to University of Michigan and did my undergrad there and got my degree, and then I entered the Michigan Law School and graduated there.
So you ended up being a Wolverine. And when
Yes.
when you said that you had 5 years coming to you, is that Uncle Sam told you that?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how you completed your undergraduate education and went to law school.
Yes.
Okay. And what year did you take the bar exam? Do you recall?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you remember how many people took it with you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Harry, let's go to you, and then we'll get back to Eichi. Where were you in the educational process when you volunteered?
Well, when the war started, I was a junior at the University of Hawaii. And after the war started, I and a bunch of Japanese American students from the university volunteered and formed the Varsity Victory Volunteers. And we worked at Schofield Barracks for about a year. And we disbanded because we understood that the 442nd would be formed, and those who were in the Varsity Victory Volunteers may want to volunteer for the 442nd.
Okay, and so after you did that and you finished your service, what did you go back to UH? Or what did you do?
I went back to UH, got my degree, and went to Yale Law School.
Yale. And what year did you graduate from Yale Law School?
1952.
And did you take the bar right after you graduated?
Right, I took the bar in 1952.
Out here, or did you take it on the East Coast first?
Pardon me?
Did you take it here or on the East Coast first?
No, I took the bar exam in Hawaii.
Okay, all right. And where did you go to work first? What was your first job?
The first job I had was as a law clerk for a federal judge, Judge McLaughlin.
Okay. Federal District Court judge?
Yes, he was a federal district court judge.
That's a good job.
And I was with him for about a year and a half, then joined a very small law firm, Tsukiyama and Yamaguchi. Tsukiyama was Senator Wilfred Tsukiyama,
Okay.
who became the first Chief Justice after we became a state.
Okay, and that was your first job with that. So you were an associate with that law firm.
Yes,
Okay, and how long were you with the law firm?
I was there until I was appointed to the Intermediate Court of Appeals by Governor Oriyoshi,
That was a long time then, until about 1982.
something like that.
So from 52 to 82, that's 30 years you were with that firm. And what kind of work did you do?
It's mainly civil law. I did quite a bit of real estate work and probate estates, and generally financial. We represented a finance company and also Servco Pacific, and I did most of the work for
You
them.
had some good clients. Do you remember, you don't have to tell us, but do you remember what you were first paid as an associate?
Not much. I don't remember, but it wasn't too much.
Okay. Eichi, we need to get back to you. And you've left your girlfriend, you volunteered, Baldwin gave you a diploma because you had enough credits. What happens next?
Okay, the next phase is, well, twofold. Actually, the war came, and my girlfriend, you know, and I wrote furiously to each other. I guess some of the things we said may have gone overboard because we became closer and closer. And 1 year after I got back, we got married, and well, she passed away in November of last year, and had she lived for 5 more days, that would be in Thanksgiving Day. We would have been married 68 years, but I had known her for, I would say, 72, 73 years. And that's how long, you know, you can say, I guess I've been courting her. But she passed away, as I mentioned, in November of last year. And, but the thing is, I guess the letters we wrote, I guess you could say there's a lot of sentimentality that went into it, that, you know, we just followed through with that, and then we got married about a year after I got back, and that was in 1946. And then that started my, by then I was in college, and I want to mention that, I guess except for the GI Bill, something I never expected, you know, what it meant, and you know, what we would get and so forth. I don't know what would have happened in terms of my college education, but anyway, that kept me going, and we got married in November of 1946. But the strange part is, I guess this is, I guess, will be my claim to fame in a way, and our claim to fame. You know, the fact that, you know, she died last year in November, but had she, November 23rd, but had she lived for five more days, you know, we would have been married for 68 years, you know, and plus the years of our furious correspondence. And so I know I've known her for about 72, 73 years all told. And it's been I guess, how do you call it, a long marriage, because I don't think too many people can claim, you know, 68 years or 70 years of marriage.
It was a long love affair is what it was. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. I want to know something, though. Do your children have those love letters?
Oh, I guess we felt very squeamish about that.
Yeah, I would
So when we got married, one of the first things she told me, maybe I told her, what she told me was, I think we should burn all that up. So they were all destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my children will just have to guess. I still have, five children remaining. For a long while we had six, but our youngest child, Elizabeth, died. But our infant child died. Her name was named Ruth, and because she died so early, while I was still even in law school, we were able to have her buried at the Punchbowl military cemetery there, and there she stayed by herself for over 50 years until my wife joined her last year.
Yeah.
And then, well, I guess in time, in a year, 2 or 3, I'll be joining them. So, in a nutshell, my other children are all grown up on their own, and but as far as my wife and myself and our infant daughter Ruth, we'll be buried at Punchbowl.
Yeah, yeah. A wonderful place to be buried. Deservingly so. Okay, well, Genro, I need to ask you about your legal career now. I want to know what you did and where you did it. And was there any cases that you handled that still stick out in your mind as being particularly difficult or gratifying? Things like that.
Oh, after law school, I joined my brother in the practice of law. His name is Genro Kashiwa. And we practiced together for quite some time until he became the federal assistant attorney general, and he moved to Washington, D.C. But my clients were mostly commercial clients from Japan. And at one time, I was attorney for this company called Kokusai Kogyo Kabushiki Kaisha. And that company at one time owned all of the large hotels in Waikiki beachfront. And well, I was the attorney for this small restaurant called Kyoya Company. And the Kokusai Kogyo Kabushiki Kaisha took over the name Kyoya Company. And today they are known as Kyoya Company, and they own quite a bit of hotels in Waikiki.
Yes, they do. And when did they start purchasing property in Hawaii? Was it still a territory, or had it already become a state?
A state.
Okay. Do you remember approximately the time, the year?
No.
Okay, all right. So that kept you busy then?
Oh, yes.
Over what period of time?
For quite some time.
Yeah. Do you recall when it was you retired from the practice of law?
I don't know, it was 1950 something.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. Now, when you took the bar, do you remember how many students took it with you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Were any of them women?
I don't think that, I'm not sure whether there were any women taking the bar.
At that time. Okay, well, we're going to go to a commercial break one more time, and then we're going to pick up with you, Harry. Okay? Thank you.
Aloha, I'm Keli'i Akina, president of the Grassroots Institute, and host on Ehana Kako, a weekly program on the Think Tech Hawaii broadcast network. Ehana Kako means let's work together. Think of the sad alternative, let's not work together. Here in Hawaii, with all of our diversity and the richness of the people, it's important for us to come together around issues on the basis of what's right and what's good and what's going to serve the common good. And that's what we try to do at Ehana Kako. Every week, we interview movers and shakers, people in government, business, and other sectors of society to talk about how to create together a better government, economy, a better world here in Hawaii that can bless the rest of the world. I thank you for your attention to Think Tech Hawaii, and we look forward to seeing you every Monday, 2 to 3 p.m. on the Think Tech Hawaii broadcast network. We're Ehana Kako, and we wish you well. Aloha.
Thank you, and welcome back to our third segment of Living Legend Lawyers in the HSBA three-digit project. And we're right now talking to Harry Tanaka. Harry Tanaka is, his bar number is 456. His regimental combat team number is 442. And he's already told us about what he was doing on VJ Day, and we appreciate that. And now I want to ask you about your legal career. And you have finished law school, and refresh our recollection. Where was it that you finished law school?
I went to Yale Law
Yes,
School.
right, Yale. I forgot, the Wolverines here, you're Yale. And you finished Yale, you came right back, you said, you took the Hawaii bar, and you went to work.
I was initially worked as a law clerk for Federal Judge McLaughlin.
McLaughlin, right. And then after that, where did you go?
I joined an outfit called Tsukiyama and Yamaguchi
And you were there for 30 years.
until I was appointed a judge.
Yeah, tell us where you were appointed judge.
Pardon me?
Where were you appointed judge? What did you serve? Where did you serve?
I was appointed to the Intermediate Court of Appeals
And how long did you serve on the ICA?
until I hit age 70 when we had to retire.
Yeah, mandatory retirement at age
Yeah.
70. Were you ready to retire at age 70?
Not really.
What did you do? If you weren't ready, what did you do?
After I was forced to retire, I volunteered my service to the Intermediate Court of Appeals and helped Chief Judge Jim Burns.
And how long did you volunteer?
Just about a year or so.
And you, when you say you helped him, what did you do with Chief Judge Burns?
Well, do some research and draft initial opinions.
And you did that on a volunteer basis?
Yeah.
And okay, now that's nifty.
Then after that, we had a grandson, and before he started school, I used to take care of him, take him to the zoo and aquarium and those things.
That's pretty good duty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good duty. And then, so when you were finished volunteering again, this time for the Intermediate Court of Appeals, and you started taking care of your grandson, what were you doing? Were you doing any legal work at that time? Did you keep your license active?
No,
Okay. And so
I didn't go back to private practice at all.
Okay. And so what have you been doing since then?
Oh, taking life easy. In 2005, my wife and I moved to a retirement community, Kahalanui, and did a lot of things to do there, attend lectures and do other things.
Right. Were you ever a golfer? Did you ever get
No, I never took up golfing.
Just as well. It takes a lot of time.
Pardon me?
I said just as well. It takes a lot of time. Okay, well, let's focus on those 30 years of private practice, Harry. Could you tell us what it is that you did and what clients you represented? Were there any cases or dealings that kind of stand out in your mind that you still have either a fond recollection of or maybe not so fond recollection of?
In my private practice, I did. I served as a member of the board of directors of Servco Pacific, and I did most of their legal work. I also did some legal work for the urban renewal outfit connected to the city of Honolulu. I don't recall any particular special case that sticks in my mind at this time.
Okay. Anything that was kind of particularly kind of not fun that you had to do while you were practicing in the private sector?
What was that again?
Something that you didn't like that much while you were in the private sector? Maybe something that you kind of want to forget about?
Not really.
Good. That's good.
I don't.
Okay.
I can't think of any.
Okay. Eichi, let's talk about your civil practice. What, you know, tell us what you did, and were there any standout cases, you know, pro or con, things you enjoyed, things you didn't enjoy, that sort of thing. And also, it's a compound question. I'd like to ask you, for our young bar members who now have bar numbers close to or in 11,000, if there's any advice that you would have for them as they start their careers.
Maybe I've been practicing law for 61 years or so. In fact, I still have my license, you know, for a personal reason I have. And I guess I did think the hard way, although you know, there were a number of people I was associated with. I was basically a solo practitioner for all of those 61 years. And eventually I ended up doing quite a bit of appellate work, you know, where eventually I, you know, was consulted by 7 to 8 lawyers in connection with their appeal work. I would say overall, I guess my appellate work was about 30 to, they were about 30%, 35%. And I think the case I fondly remember is Sawada versus Endo, which is established the principle firmly of tenants by the entirety in Hawaii. But my most memorable case, of course, is the one I had alluded to earlier when I was appointed just three months you know, after my term with Judge McLaughlin. Actually, I was a law clerk for Judge WWII, but evidently these federal judges do a lot of traveling and all that. So when I left the federal judiciary, I was still with Judge McLaughlin. And then he appointed me, you know, pro bono for a guy called Richard Yaw. And he was a guy, the younger brother of the person, older brother who was selling marijuana to undercover police. But Richard was about 1,000 yards away in the playground while the transaction was taking place right at the store about 1,000 yards away. And somehow or the other, maybe I wasn't an effective advocate. You know, he was convicted with his brother, Robert Yaw. And I felt that was unfair. So I appealed that. So my first major case was a criminal case, although, you know, I didn't go into that field. But I finally got him out just before Christmas. And, you know, here, my first case being a criminal case, and it was all pro bono because at that time, you know, both the state and the federal government didn't have some of these counter agencies to refer to, and but basically my practice was in the civil area.
Did you ever have any appeals in front of Judge Tanaka?
I'm sorry?
Did you ever have any appeals in front of Judge Tanaka?
I don't remember. I don't remember having an appeal in the Intermediate Court of Appeal here. But I've had a number. At that time, we only had a two-court system, a circuit court and the Supreme Court.
Right.
And that's where most of my practice was concentrated on.
Now, did you have some experience with basketball in your past?
Well, no, except as a child. Up to about high school, play basketball.
Well, tell us about that. You were at Baldwin,
Yes.
right? You're playing basketball at Baldwin.
Yeah.
What
but-
position did you play?
No, I didn't. I wasn't that good. So I was more a spectator, but I enjoyed playing that. That's about the size of it.
So are you a fan?
Yeah.
You're a basketball fan?
Oh, sorry?
Are you a fan of the game?
Oh, yes, yes. Although very frankly, as the years went by, I used to be a fan of NFL. But over the years, I've just lost interest. I told myself I spent too much time, like Sunday, I spend 5-6 hours watching 2-3 professional games.
Right.
And eventually I said, I gotta stop that.
Yeah.
So it's been many years since I've watched even a basketball, or for that matter, a football game.
Okay. How about you, Genro? Are you a sports fan?
No, I'm not good at sports. For instance, in our neighborhood baseball team, I was always placed in the right field where no balls came around.
And what was the neighborhood you grew up in?
Huh?
What neighborhood did you grow up in?
Wailua.
Wailua. And did you serve in the district court in part of your career?
Yes,
And was it a rural district court?
in Wahiwa.
Wahiwa. How long were you in Wahiwa?
Very short.
And what kind of cases did you handle there?
Oh, mostly the lawyers, prosecutors would come up and recommend that I do a certain kind of justice, and I usually took what the prosecutors recommended. So it wasn't a big thing at all.
Okay. Harry, how about you? Were you a sports fan or were you a sportsman?
Well, as a spectator mainly.
Okay. You didn't play football or baseball or basketball?
No.
Okay. Did you enjoy those sports?
Yeah, I enjoy watching football and basketball.
Did you watch the Harvard-Yale game this year on TV?
I watched part of it. I know Yale lost.
Yes. Yes, you know that. ESPN Game Day was from that game. It was a big game. Two very good teams this year. Okay, well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here. We really appreciate it. On behalf of the Hawaii State Bar Association, I want to thank you very, very sincerely for agreeing to be with us today and sharing stories about your careers and educating our future and young lawyers about what you did that was so significant for both our bar and our country. Thank you all so much.